The year was 2013. It was a year that would be etched in history for the Catholic Church and the world. The anticipation was palpable as millions awaited the announcement of a new pope. The conclave had been in session and the world watched with bated breath. White smoke billowed from the chimney atop the Sistine Chapel. This ancient signal meant only one thing: a new pope had been chosen. The sight of the white smoke brought a wave of excitement and relief to the faithful gathered in St. Peter's Square and those watching from around the globe. A new pope had been chosen. The world held its breath. Who would be the next leader of the Catholic Church? The anticipation was electric, and the crowd in St. Peter's Square grew silent, waiting for the announcement that would soon come. The announcement came. Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio of Argentina, Archbishop of Buenos Aires, a man known for his humility and dedication to social justice. His selection was a surprise to many, but it was a choice that would resonate deeply with millions. He would be known as Pope Francis. This was a historic moment. As he stepped onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, he greeted the world with a gentle wave and a warm smile. His presence exuded a sense of calm and compassion. For the first time, the leader of the Catholic Church hailed from Latin America. This was a moment of immense pride and joy for the people of the region. Celebrations erupted across Latin America, with people taking to the streets to express their happiness and hope for the future. The election of Pope Francis signaled a departure from tradition. It was a break from the European lineage of popes that had dominated for centuries. His election was seen as a sign of the Church's willingness to embrace change and diversity. He was the first Jesuit pope. His namesake, St. Francis of Assisi, embodied humility and service to the poor. This choice of name was a clear indication of the values and priorities that would define his papacy. It was a call to return to the core teachings of compassion and service. These themes would define his papacy. Hope rippled through the Church. Pope Francis's actions and words would consistently reflect his commitment to the marginalized and the needy. His approach was a breath of fresh air for many who felt disconnected from the Church's hierarchy. Many saw in Francis a beacon of change. His papacy promised a new era of inclusivity and compassion. The world watched closely, hopeful that this new leader would bring about meaningful transformation within the Church and beyond. Jorge Mario Bergoglio's journey began in the Flores neighborhood of Buenos Aires. This vibrant area, known for its rich cultural tapestry, played a significant role in shaping his early years. The streets of Flores, bustling with life and history, were where young Jorge first learned about community and compassion. He was born into an Italian immigrant family in 1936. His parents, who had fled the economic hardships of Italy, instilled in him the values of hard work, faith, and resilience. Growing up in a household that cherished its roots, Jorge was deeply influenced by his family's stories and traditions. Young Jorge was a bright student. He pursued chemistry before feeling the call to priesthood. His academic journey was marked by curiosity and a passion for learning. In the chemistry lab, he developed a meticulous approach to problem solving, a skill that would later serve him well in his spiritual and pastoral duties. He entered the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits, in 1958. This decision marked a turning point in his life. The Jesuits, known for their dedication to education and social justice, provided Jorge with a rigorous spiritual and intellectual formation. His time as a seminarian was filled with deep reflection and a growing commitment to serving others. Life in the Jesuits was formative. Bergoglio embraced their emphasis on social justice and intellectual rigor. He participated in various community activities, always striving to make a positive impact. The Jesuit principles of humility, service, and dedication to the marginalized became central to his mission. He rose through the ranks, eventually becoming Archbishop of Buenos Aires in 1998. In this role, he was not just a religious leader, but also a moral compass for the city. His leadership was characterized by a deep sense of responsibility and a commitment to addressing the social issues facing his community. Known for his humility and concern for the poor, he often rode the bus and cooked his own meals. These simple acts were a testament to his belief in living a life of simplicity and solidarity with the less fortunate. His everyday actions spoke volumes about his character and his dedication to living out the values he preached. He was a shepherd who knew his flock. Bergoglio's deep connection with the people of Buenos Aires was evident in his interaction. He listened to their struggles, celebrated their joys, and walked with them through their challenges. His pastoral approach was one of empathy and genuine care, making him a beloved figure in the community. From the outset, Pope Francis emphasized a message of mercy and inclusion. He called for a church that was, quote, a poor church for the poor. He reached out to the marginalized refugees, prisoners, the LGBTQ+ community. He washed the feet of Muslim prisoners, a gesture of radical humility. His words and actions challenged traditional notions of power and authority. He urged the church to be more welcoming and less judgmental. He spoke out against economic inequality and the exploitation of the environment. His message resonated with millions around the world. Pope Francis inherited a church grappling with the devastating legacy of clerical sex abuse. He acknowledged the pain of the victims and vowed to address the crisis. He established the Pontifical Commission for the Protection of Minors. He met with survivors, listening to their stories with compassion. However, his efforts faced criticism. Some argued that he was not doing enough to hold bishops accountable. Others felt he was too quick to forgive abusers. The issue remained a source of pain and division within the Church. Section 5. A global voice for peace and dialogue, reaching out to other faiths and nations. Pope Francis emerged as a global advocate for peace and interfaith dialogue. He traveled extensively, meeting with world leaders and religious figures. He brokered a historic meeting between the Israeli and Palestinian presidents. He called for an end to the Syrian civil war. He forged closer ties with the Orthodox Church and other Christian denominations. He engaged in dialogue with Muslim leaders, emphasizing the common ground between Islam and Christianity. He became a voice of conscience on the world stage. Section 6. Traditionalists and reformers navigating the tensions within the Church. Pope Francis's papacy was not without its critics. His reforms sparked resistance from traditionalists. They opposed his more inclusive tone and his criticism of unbridled capitalism. They accused him of diluting church doctrine. On the other hand, some liberals felt he wasn't going far enough. They wanted to see changes in church teaching on issues like contraception and women's ordination. Pope Francis navigated these tensions carefully. He sought to find a path forward that balanced tradition and reform. Section 7. A legacy of compassion and courage, Pope Francis' enduring impact on the Catholic Church. Pope Francis's papacy left an indelible mark on the Catholic Church. He shifted the focus away from dogma and towards mercy and compassion. He challenged the Church to live up to its social teachings. He inspired millions with his humility and his commitment to the poor. His legacy is still being written. His reforms will continue to be debated for years to come, but one thing is clear: Pope Francis ushered in a new era of openness and dialogue in the Catholic Church. Section 8. The final chapter, Pope Francis's declining health and passing. In his later years, Pope Francis faced increasing health challenges. He suffered from sciatica and had part of his lung removed in his youth. He underwent intestinal surgery in 2021. He began using a wheelchair more frequently. Yet he continued to carry out his duties with determination. In April 2025, he was hospitalized for pneumonia. He recovered, but his health remained fragile. He died peacefully on April 21, 2025, at the age of 88. The world mourned the loss of a transformative leader. Section 9. A world in mourning. Reflections on the Life and Legacy of a Transformative Pope. The death of Pope Francis sparked an outpouring of grief and tributes from around the world. His passing was not just a loss for the Catholic community, but for people of all faiths and backgrounds. The streets of cities from Buenos Aires to Manila were filled with mourners, each person carrying their own story of how the Pope had touched their lives. Heads of state, religious leaders, and ordinary people celebrated his life and legacy. From the grand halls of the United Nations to humble village churches, his influence was felt far and wide. Leaders from different faiths came together in a rare show of unity, reflecting on his efforts to bridge divides and promote peace. He was remembered for his humility, his compassion, and his unwavering commitment to social justice. His actions spoke louder than words, whether he was comforting a grieving family or advocating for the rights of the oppressed. His teachings on love, mercy, and justice resonated deeply with people from all walks of life. His papacy, though relatively short, left an enduring mark on the Catholic Church and the world. He initiated reforms that aimed to make the Church more inclusive and transparent. His vision for a church that serves the poor and marginalized continues to inspire and challenge us. He challenged us to see the face of Christ in the poor and marginalized. His visits to refugee camps and his acts of humility, like washing the feet of prisoners, were powerful reminders of the gospel's call to serve others. He urged us to go beyond our comfort zones and extend a hand to those in need. He reminded us that the church is not a fortress, but a field hospital open to all. His open-air masses drew millions, and his words of hope and encouragement uplifted countless souls. He emphasized that the church's mission is to heal and to bring people together, regardless of their background or beliefs. His legacy of love and mercy will continue to inspire generations to come. As we reflect on his life, we are reminded of the power of kindness and the impact one person can have on the world. His teachings and actions will remain a guiding light for many, encouraging us to build a more just and compassionate society.